Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop, howdy. Today, I know, look at it. Today we have a piece of cherry. This comes to us from our friend Dave at Calmwood Creations. Piece is roughly 8 by 5.5 by about 2.5 inches thick, or it will be. It's actually much thicker on this end, but we're going to remove a lot of that. And there you can see that's how we know it's cherry. Besides, Dave marked it cherry. Dave also marked, see that black dot there in the center? That looked like the middle to me. I didn't put it there. I measured, that is the middle. So Dave must have thought he could turn this and then thought, nah, let's get Phil to do it. I don't know, the piece looks like it sat in a mud puddle for most of its life. It's pretty far gone. Maybe the most far gone I've ever turned. And if you take a screwdriver and stick it in what looks to be the deepest hole, which is about here, and then come out here, it looks like we've got maybe 3/4 of an inch at the bottom. I've been looking at this piece for a while, wondering if it's even possible. And you can see where my woodworm screw is going to go. If you look real closely, there's not much there. But on the other hand, it seems to be nice and tight. None of this seems to wiggle. It certainly looks like it would. So I'm going to drill that hole and we'll get it over here to the lathe, get it mounted up and see what we can make of this. I think I might have to shim this. I have a little scrap of wood here because if I follow the natural top, I think that's going to throw the bottom off even more. I'll show you what I mean if it turns out I need to. Yeah, see how it's almost tight on this far side over here and it's way loose here. So I'm going to take this little scrap of wood that I found and just fill in here. That's actually pretty tight. Not real tight, but pretty tight. A little bit scary. The reason that shim was important is, see my finger over here touching the wood? And then if I rotate it around, it's about 1/2 inch away from this side. If I hadn't put that shim under there, it would have been 3/4 of an inch or better away. So this way I will waste less wood from the bottom, hopefully leaving me enough room here for a recess. It does kind of look like there'll be enough room for a recess or a tenon, either one, but boy, it is just far gone, isn't it? Not much there. Got some bark here. That's something. Who knows? I think it's going to be gorgeous. You saw the beautiful cherry grain on the bottom. I'm going to get my mask and face shield on. I'm going to grab a 1/2 inch standard grind bowl gouge, and we're going to be turning at 650 RPM. We'll mark out for a tenon. Tenon or recess, tenon or recess, tenon. Now, what kind of shaping do we want to do outside here? Any at all? Boy, that's pretty green, huh? I'm inclined to go up a little bit out here at this corner. Well, maybe while I'm here, I'll finish up that tenon, I guess. I'm going to grab a 3/8 inch gouge to get in there a little tighter. Now I'm going to raise my tool rest some. I'm going to use this diamond point tool to square up the sides of the tenon. And that's good. I'm going to come out here and work on this corner a little bit. I'm not sure what I have in mind at all. I'm just going to round it up some and see what happens. I just don't know what it is I'm trying to do here. I want to reveal some of the nice wood so that it's in contrast with the not so nice wood, but I don't want to turn this into a beautiful shiny new bowl either. I think we've turned enough on the outside. Time for sanding. I'm going to start the sanding with the Sandoflex. Typically I would sand the bark or bark inclusion, but in this case I'm going to sand the whole thing with this and just see how it goes. I'm also going to sand the turned parts with the 2-inch disc sander. And I'll show you all that as soon as I get my mask on. We'll try spinning it for a while. We'll try it in reverse as well. That'll get some of the high spots. And then I'll do whatever I can here. This is going to look amazing. Don't give up on me. Don't you give up on me. This is going to look amazing. And then with the 2-inch disc sander, spinning in reverse at about 400 RPM. I gotta tell you, I'm just amazed that we got as far as we have, and we're gonna get it finished, and it's going to be something special. I don't know what kind of finish we're gonna put on here. I'm thinking sanding sealer and shellac. I don't know. We'll see how it looks when I get it all done. I don't think you've ever seen anything like this before. I never have. Dave really outdid himself with this one, huh? I'll see you back here in a little bit and we'll put some sanding sealer on. Well, I don't even know what to say about this. The sanding was surprisingly easy. I mean, it took some time, but it was easy, and I love this thing. It's not for everybody. You might not love it. I don't know why you wouldn't, but you might not, and that's okay. Now I have some sanding sealer in this little can, and I've got this little acid brush, and I'm just going to start applying it every place I can't reach with a rag, which is most places. It's hard to know how far up here to go. I don't know what's going to be a ball and what's not going to be a ball. So I'm not going to try and cover it all, but I'm going to try and cover at least the top edges around what might be a ball. And this is going to take quite a little bit of time apparently. And I'm not going to ask you to watch it all. Wow. It's going to look cool. See you in a bit. Well, I've got 3 coats of sanding sealer on the outside. And I didn't put any shellac on because I'm still not sure what final finish I want to apply. The outside actually feels and looks pretty nice at this point. So, starting with the 5/8 inch standard grind bowl gouge, mask and face shield on, 600 RPM. I know that I'm nowhere near the bottom, but I can't tell where I am. Well, maybe not quite in it. I think I want to scrape a little bit. There's so many defects when it's spinning, I can't tell if it's tool marks I'm seeing or defects. I don't see any now. Boy, this is going to be a bear to sand. Oh man, I hadn't thought about that part. But it is time for sanding. Well now, how to sand this? I cannot use a 2-inch sanding disc. I have way too much experience to know that that will not work. What happens is this comes around and catches the edge. More importantly, this catches the edge. And that'll just tear it up in a hurry. I mean, it'll ruin my foam pad that I use. So I wouldn't get anywhere with that. So I've been wondering, how am I gonna sand this? Well, it's nice to have a friend that's a machinist and a guy with an experimental nature. And that's Tuffy Marginez. And Tuffy has made me a few different sanders over the last couple of years. And I'm going to give this one a try. This is 80 grit in here. This one, Tuffy also made. It says it's 120. But it feels finer than that. It feels more like 180. But I'm going to try this one as well. It's just a nice long shaft. Fits in the drill, same as the other one. I think this one will get the bottom okay. Maybe it'll get it all. But like I say, it's 80 grit. And then I'll switch to this one. And then most of my sanding is going to be done with my Sandoflex like I used on the outside. And with this, I'm going to start at 120 grit, and I'm going to work up through 320 grit. That's the finest I have in these. But I think that'll be just fine. There's hardly any difference between 320 and 400. So let me get my mask on, and I'll show you a couple of these. I'm going to spin the lathe forward at 430. Wow. Smooth as butter. That works nice. No hang-ups, no catching. Oh yeah. Yeah, yay. That works really good. Boy, that's 80 and it feels, the finish feels smoother than that. Yep, that is nice. Good job, Tuffy. All right, let's try this other one. A little longer shaft. Woo! Whoa! That's nice! That's amazing! Wow! Oh! That's also a relief, because I couldn't figure out how I was going to do this. And then with the Sandoflex, this will get in all these other areas that those can't get into. It'll even reach into here. But I don't think I can spin it. Oh yeah. Oh, this is going to be a piece of cake. Man, I thought this was going to be hard. My friend Tuffy comes through again. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing, and apparently I'm not going to be doing it for very long. Like I say, I'll take these through 320 grit. That's what I'll be doing now. This one's 120, then I'll do 180, 240, and 320. And I'll bring it back when it's time to put some sanding sealer on there. Oh boy, do I feel better. See you in a bit. Well, that was just quick and easy. I just can't believe how simple it actually was. And it did such a fine job, those 3 different sanders. And then I did a little bit of hand sanding as well. Now this is just like the outside. It's going to take a lot of brushing to get into all of these areas. And I am going to just go ahead and put shellac on after I get 2 or 3 coats of this sanding sealer on. And the way I'm smoothing it is with the Sandoflex with 320 in it. That's how I'm smoothing between coats. Boy, you know, I just never expected to get this far with that wood. So I've got some sanding sealer in the little can, and I've got my little acid brush. And I'll just brush it in here just like before. I'm just trying to cover all the areas. And like I say, this is going to take a while, so I'll bring you back when it's time to take that tenon off. And I don't see where that's going to be an issue at all either. See you in a bit. I've mounted a block of wood up in my chuck. It's got a non-slip surface on it. I'm going to place the bowl over that and bring up my tailstock. I still have the center hole there for reference. So I'll just press into that. Jiggle the piece around a little bit, make sure it feels centered. And it does. Bring up my tool rest. I'll spin it up, see if it feels like it's hitting my thumbnail equally all the way around, and it does. So I'm just going to take this 3/8 inch standard grind bowl gouge and begin removing the tenon. Check for clearance, and we have clearance. Now I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch swept back bowl gouge, and I'm going to adjust my tool rest a little bit closer and a little bit higher. This might come apart on me, I don't know, we'll find out. That was 600 RPM. I'm going to slow the speed down to 200 RPM, and I'm going to apply the bevel of the gouge against the bottom of the bowl. Right hand on the gouge, left hand on the switch. Pressure towards the headstock. And when that little nub stops spinning, we'll know we're through. Yeah, sometimes that happens. It just breaks away. Now I'll take this over to the workbench, sand it up, sign it, get it finished, and I'll be right back. Well, here it is, a cherry bowl, the most decayed bowl I've ever turned. I'm a little tiny bit, I love it, but I'm a little tiny bit disappointed that we had to remove so much of the decay. There's quite a bit of it there. There's another good chunk of it here. Pretty decayed, but that's what makes it so nice. That and the feel of it. There's just so much to feel. You run your hands over it, it's so smooth, so many textures, so many features. It's just nice, don't you think? No? You don't like it? Oh my gosh, how could you not? There's the bottom all finished up. I think it's pretty cool. Thank you, Dave from Calmwood Creations, for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you'd share it around, that would be wonderful. Thank you very kindly for that. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome and I read all of them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.